Hand clap to the massive guys. We are finally back again for another one on the one and only Mystelics reaction, guys. By the way, guys, I must big up BrBpTV one time for sending me the shirts. He actually sent me 2 of them. Big up BrBpTV one time, man. Big up the designs, and of course the designs have been elevating throughout the years right there. And then big up yourself one time, BrBpTV. No, guys, apparently I was gonna be doing a different reaction, but of course I must say, well, did I say welcome to each and every one of you guys out there who have definitely tuned into another reaction video, guys. I was actually gonna be doing a different reaction video, but of course this was sent to me this morning and I thought it was rather interesting from some of the stuff that I heard, that I would definitely put this out there just so that I can inform individuals of what may or may not have been, or what may or may not be happening based off, of course, certain allegations that have been stated right there and then. And of course this is dealing with the 4H club, Dominica National 4H club, and of course what is stated right there, message, let me see, okay, I can't get the dot, but anyways, message by a concerned citizen. Good night all. I have been reluctant to speak out about some very concerning issues regarding the Dominica National 4H club, but of course this individual is saying, but I can't keep silent when children are being, little ones, sorry YouTube, okay, little ones are being involved. This is serious and I am presenting you with the facts. So little ones are the future and must be fiercely protected from harm and or potential harm. God bless. This individual is saying something rather interesting. Let us see what he has to say right there. Go ahead, uncle. What the volume now? Volume, please.
Some light on.
Let's start back.
Good day, Dominica. Facebook. Good day. Just taking a break from my busy schedule to shed some light on some very.
By the way, this video was dropped on April 8th. That was 3 days ago. So yeah, okay.
Disturbing issues taking place inside of the Dominica National 4H. I know a number of the boys wondering why aren't myself and also my wife and my family attending this year's Easter camp to St. Lucia, especially as we came from last year's camp that was a success, and you know, the boys have since then grown quite fond of our family and you know, just our lifestyle, and of course when it comes to children, we love them and we want to see them do well, you know, and we want nothing but the best for ours and also the best for yours.
That's a good attitude.
And so
that's a good attitude to have, because you want to see, especially in a time where you're realizing that fathers are not there. There's a number of fathers, or it could be as a result of the mother pushing the father away or the father themselves having dirty ways. But I think it's very important to have father figures when it comes onto this kind of clubs and stuff. So since he's doing that and the, you know, the people, the little ones are looking up to them, I think that is a good thing right there. They can influence them towards a positive directions in life.
But the thing is, coming from camp last August, there a lot of things became clear to us. When I say us, I mean myself, my wife, my family, and following that and a number of allegations that came to our attention, we decided that the best thing to do as members of the 4H executive was to have a meeting of the minds, and of course to discuss these things and to see what is the best way forward for Dominica National 4H. So on January 31st, we decided that we would post a message in the National 4H executive group, WhatsApp group, calling for a meeting. The meeting was sort of centered around why are the children leaving from Dominica to St. Lucia with basically way less supervision than they would have had last year. It didn't sit right with us, right? And so we called for the meeting.
Maybe they were leaving maybe because people didn't have money. It's one thing when you're staying in Dominica, you can travel back and forth, but when you have to pay a ticket to go overseas, that is probably adding additional expenses to you. So maybe a number of persons were saying, you know what, guys, you know, things are hard in Dominica, my family to take care of, might as well just stay in Dominica and let the others go. But if you're protecting the younger ones, I think there should be some sort of, don't they have to pay some sort of fees to be part of the club or something? Then wouldn't that fees then help individuals or the people in charge to actually, okay, they have been doing that, we are helping them for free, maybe that can, you know, assist us. That's one of the things I never understood in Dominica, man. We keep, when you have athletes in Dominica that have to go and raise money for them to be able to go overseas to represent Dominica, I think that is a very interesting thing right there. But it's still on the flip side. I remember when Thea did well, I heard that she got some amount of money, $100,000 or something like that, from the Dominica government. So persons outside there, you know, she did well in a thing, yes, but at the same time, what about the people who are local? You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same sentiment right there. Why don't they raise funds in the group or have this Dominican National 4-H Club? Why don't the government, you know, send people overseas? I don't know if they do that or not, but if there's less people, then that shouldn't be, especially when you're going to a place, and most times where people do not know exactly what the place is like, especially when you go in places like St. Lucia, you know, the crime rate that is increasing there. So it's vital that you have adequate, you know, amount of people who are responsible to take care of those who are not even their own. You understand what I'm saying? Adequate amount of people. And under supervision as well. You never know, this world is getting crazy. If all kind of crazy stuff happening here. All right, then let's continue.
And it seemed that someone didn't want the meeting to proceed. So January 31st, the call was made. It was seconded by a very popular person in Dominica, very important person in Dominica, who is also a part of the executive. She said yes, the meeting should be called. But the meeting was never called. On February 2nd, I followed up in our WhatsApp group. I got no reply, except from those of us who wanted to have the meeting. And of course, the meeting should be had. I mean, what's the reason why you would...
But if it was seconded and you know, shouldn't the meeting be held? What kind of lackadaisical attitude is this? If there's a meeting that needs to be held to discuss certain things that might or might not be happening in the place, I mean, and it was seconded, and there's a time, and then nothing was happening as a result of what? Yeah. And then we are the ones who then trying to discipline the younger ones coming up to say, okay, this is all you should be. If you say this, we should have this. Your word, I studied this on my WhatsApp today. Word is very important. When you say something, you need to keep your word. If you guys are saying you're gonna have a meeting, you should have the meeting. Not try to escape it somewhere, somehow. What's going on? Because then the younger one's going to see that happening, and what comes from the top, what goes in the head, it then trickles down to the rest of the body. I mean, look at Dominica. That's right. Look at America right now. Look at Canada. Look, the head. Once the head is messed up, brothers and sisters, they expect the rest of the body to function just as the human body. If the mentality of a human being is messed up, there's some sort of issues going up there. What do you think is going to happen to the rest of the body? The body is not going to function properly, even though the issue might not be the hands and the legs and torso and whatnot, but because the mind is messed up, the mind and spine is, the mind is messed up, then obviously the rest of the body would not function in the best way it should. So
would not want to meet, right? And then on February 6th, I did the same, but nothing happened. So you have there from January 31st to February 6th calls for a meeting that never happened. Now, the allegations kept on coming, where it became very disturbing and very concerning. And so on February 14th, my wife and I, we decided to meet not just with the individual who has an integral role in 4-H, but we also decided to meet with the executive and principal of SMA, because of course the 4-H office is at SMA, and so we did that. At that meeting, we outlined a number of allegations that had been brought to our attention by boys and also other people. And it comes to our children. For me, it's a no-no.
Yeah.
It's a no-no. It's one thing.
No, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people can lie, especially younger folks, because I know certain things that took place where younger folks lied about what older persons or older folks did, and then in turn that person end up paying the consequence because it's your word against theirs, and obviously they will most likely take the victim's word over yours. I didn't do it. The victim say yes, I did it, and then they take in the victim's word because the alleged victim. And in hindsight, that never really happened. It's just that particular, I speak of one particular incident, that particular individual was living a certain lifestyle. And as a result of trying to make somebody take the fall because the person had a level on them, then they put that person in thing. Even though they did tests and all those kind of things, they came out negative, then they still pinpoint to that person because of whatever lifestyle that person was living. So it's one thing where people making claims, but I think there needs to be some factual basis and believe the facts that are presented. I always believe in that. When the facts are presented, believe the facts. Sometimes the victim is not a victim, but they're looking for something. So it's important. So it's allegations are allegations, yes, but at the same time, you never know. But on the flip side, what if these allegations are true? It is important to be hearing these things out. And if they're trying to have meetings against above these allegations and stuff, I think they should be heard. What do you think? You have to protect your young ones, especially the boys. Especially the young boys going up there. If you alter these guys, society is in utter chaos, you know. Because if you understand how the dynamics of biology works, men are logical thinkers, therefore they do logical things. They work best in things. Women are emotionally driven, therefore they are more people driven. That is on the basis of this right there. So if you understand this dynamic and you alter the logical part of the society, not saying that women can be logical, you know, but generally speaking, logical components outside of the emotional part of people, looking at the logical part of it, if you tamper with that and you make these boys become more emotional and logical, then chaos will ensue in society. That is a fact. Nobody can dispute that. Science itself proves this very thing right there. So it's important to be mindful of that.
When it's adults, it's another thing when children are involved.
Yeah.
And so
impressionable minds.
We had that meeting with the individual.
Oh, so you finally have the meeting, okay.
The allegations, I won't go in depth, but the allegations include activities outside of school hours with boys.
What are they doing?
The allegations also include
what kind of activities though? Anyways,
giving condoms to boys.
Well, that is another story. Although sometimes you might say yourself, little boys, the little ones, they think, because I remember us being little boys back in the day and stuff, you know. But I think it should be done in a proper aspect though. Or people want to say, oh, it's abstain and they say little boys abstain. Little boys will be boys. I tell you straight, the boys will be boys. I just hope they don't go and be another boys. Fire. Let me leave that alone. Now let's continue.
We have other allegations. The individual referring to boys as PUSSY.
You can't be doing that. How can you be an executive who's supposed to help shape the little ones coming up and be calling them certain names? Stop your dirty ways.
We also had allegations that the individual keeps X-rated pictures and videos on his handset, on his phone.
On his, so it's not a female. On his.
And is not willing to share with parents.
Of who?
And that's something that I actually heard him say myself. 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a little extra there. Of who? Maybe as this boy's bathing or something like that. You taking photos? What? Maybe it's me that don't hear that properly. I don't hear that properly. Cannot be. It's Dominica. No.
I said to the individual, no, you are a teacher.
It's a teacher.
You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a role model to the boys. You're
True.
supposed to let the boys know that, hey, listen, this thing is going on. This thing involves that girl.
Oh, so it's like, oh, okay. I thought it was, oh, okay. But it's still bad though. I mean, you should not be having different, especially when you hear the, but you know, power, they will say power's going on. All this kind of things was going on. So maybe that individual has that, and maybe, you know, from time to time showing it to those boys, I guess. But that's not right. That shouldn't be at all.
And this thing involves you know, whatever it is, but you guys are under my care. You guys, I am responsible for you all as your teacher, right?
Oh, okay. So my mind is going all kind of places right now. So it seems like he knows that they have these kind of things in their phones, and instead of instructing them properly, hey guys, this is not a good thing to do or share amongst your peers and whatnot and blah blah blah, you know, okay, he probably doesn't do that. And as a teacher, you should be a proper role model, and then, you know, tell them, hey guys, this is not good, you need to delete this off your phone, and, you know, clear your trash or all this kind of things there, and stop sharing these rumors. Maybe these guys are going out there doing their things and what have you. Maybe that's why he decided to give them condoms and stuff, because they're probably doing their thing out there with different girls, and then filming it and then showing it to them, their boys, and, you know. So yeah, I see what he's saying right there now. But at the end of the day, this shouldn't be. This you should have a level of respect for yourself and for the person. Have a level of respect and stop your dirty ways, man. You should be teaching them to stop their dirty ways. I agree. And if you cannot fulfill that rule, then you lapsing in that regard, regardless of whatever you might think. That is not good. That's not a good path at all.
And so I must share these things with your parent. The individual said to me, no, he's not doing that, and he had his reasons why. And I found that to be very...
Yeah, you should tell the parents about it. If you find out as an influencer, somebody in society who's doing certain things, you need to tell the parents what's going on, because you want them to stop the bad habit before it escalates a bit further.
Concerning, I found it to be, you know, just not right, you know, just totally inaccurate.
Or maybe he's doing that just to so sometimes I know people just do certain things whereby they don't want to pass judgment on you, but they're making you, it's like they're making themselves comfortable enough for you to come and talk about these things, and then you can guide them in that aspect. Because it's one thing where you have people doing certain things, they might be doing the things and share it amongst their friends and what have you, and you yourself, you clueless about it, you have no clue. But then they're doing this stuff and thing. However, they are including you in that, and you can possibly guide them in that aspect. Not necessarily going and tell their parents, but guiding them to the point where they're not doing it. And if by extension, if they continue doing that, then you need to inform their parents so that the parents can do. Because sometimes you can only reach a certain level with those who are not yours. Reach a certain level, and then, you know, if they're not taking heed, then you need to inform their parents. So, but then again, sometimes you can inform their parents, and they themselves find out better ways of how to do certain things. So, but you know, I think it's as an influencer, as somebody who is considered as a role model, you need to definitely take that heed in. I understand you trying to probably build friendships and all those kind of things there, but it's important that you guide them. You know, guide them properly. So,
in my view, I don't know what you think, Facebook, but in my view, it's just it doesn't make sense unless in another context, right? Also, allegations concerning keeping penile enlargement or penis enlargement cream in the individual's desk, which boys use at school.
For what? For what?
These are allegations against the individual. Now, what I realized is that following that meeting, and keep in mind that
maybe that is for the person himself. Let me go back. Maybe I don't understand that properly.
Well,
a few years.
Now, what I realized is that following that meeting, unless in another context, right? Also, allegations concerning keeping penile enlargement or penis enlargement cream in the individual's desk, which boys use at school.
So they use this stuff They use this. Isn't SMA a all boys school? So what?
These are allegations against the individual.
But the fact that he says, I would understand if it's his own. But the fact that he has it in the desk and the other little boys using this stuff, for what reason though? Take all your time, baby mother pig. Baby pig ask mother pig, how come your nose so big? Mother pig tell baby pig, wait your turn. Wait all your turn, man. Take time to go and play in the field, go and play marble, go and play hoop, hide and seek. Go and do something, tag or something. Boy.
Jewel.
Oh, they're growing up too fast for that.
Now, what I realized is that following that meeting, and keep in mind that after that meeting, we were told that the issues were handled, and we were like, no, it's not handled. That's not the way you handle issues. You know what I mean? And
but who says if the issues is handled or not? Who says the issue is handled or not? If management is saying it's handled and you're saying it's not, then who exactly is right there? But as a concerned citizen, you're saying right there, and I'm guessing as a concerned parent, that's why you're bringing up this information.
So we said that we need to have a meeting with the 4-H executive. That's what needs to happen now, because it seems that the 4-H executive has no idea about some of the things that we know, right? Keeping in mind that at that time we were meeting with the SMA executive, not the 4-H executive. So the SMA executive had all of that information now.
So it seems like some teacher from SMA they're talking about.
At their disposal, right?
Who is part of the 4-H club, National 4-H club.
And so at the end of that meeting, what we did was we scheduled a meeting. We asked the individual to schedule a meeting in a week's time. He agreed that in a week's time, from the 14th of February, that he would schedule, or he would schedule a meeting. We would have a meeting, right? That did not happen. As a matter of fact, following that meeting on the 14th of February, what happened? 9 members of the 4-H executive, those who were silent from the very start when I posted the need for a meeting on January 31st, when I posted on February 2nd, when I posted on February 6th, and all the other times I posted, they were very silent, right? And you found that these people were the ones who left. Now, I will leave you, Facebook, I will leave you to decide what you believe is happening, right?
Well, I mean, you just said exactly what was happening here. It seemed like the individual who's in charge seems to be more friending these guys. So they come to him and have discussions, and then he provides probably what they're asking him for enlargement on different things, for them probably to mess with girls and stuff, you know, to make them more macho, so to speak, and then providing condoms and this kind of. So maybe they're having this kind of conversation with the particular individual, and he's probably, you know, thinking them in that regard. But I personally think that if you go into school, you should, you know, focus on school. I mean, interact with people and what. Behave all yourself there. Behave all yourself. But the individual himself in question, I think you need to do a better job though. I kind of understand the sentiment right there of making people come to you and, you know, talking to you about different things. They would not, because most likely other people might judge them and say, no, don't do this and no, do that, even though you want to do it or whatnot. And then he's probably trying to, you know, think them. But I think you should be better guiding them though. Instead of getting them equipments or stuff that they say they want and stuff, I think you should probably guide them. But then again, sometimes understanding fellas, you cannot stop fellas, little fellas, from doing whatever they want to do. This is probably why he's talking about informing their parents. But then you inform their parents, you stop them for a while, and then they continue, but then nobody knows what is going on, and maybe some girl end up pregnant and all those kind of things, which is why if he's giving them condoms and those kind of things, regardless if they're going to be doing it or not, then I think that is helpful. But I think proper guiding needs to be done. It's not just putting thing on and going, and you can damage, you can hurt people, especially the girls out there in that way. So it's important for you to keep these kind of things in mind. As a person who is an adult and trying to influence the younger ones to be better in society, you should guide them properly. I think that's my thoughts on this, guys. What are your thoughts, man? Let me know. Leave that in the comment box below.
I will leave you to it, right? But tell me if it's a coincidence or not that following that meeting on February 14th with the SMA.
So you didn't go and do Valentine's Day, or you do? Okay, all right. No love, Papa. No love. Okay.
Executive, principal, and all, and the individual leveling these allegations against him, and much more, that you find 9 members of the Dominica National 4-H leaving our executive WhatsApp group. Is it a coincidence or is it not? For me, one thing I know is the laws that govern consistency and the laws that govern coincidence are not the same. And that's all I will say. So we move on.
That's true. I'm trying to figure out what was his point with that, but that's true right there.
And we see now it's 65 days. 65 days. A 6 and a 5. That we have called. That's from January 31st that we have called for a meeting of the minds, the Dominica National 4-H group. We've called for a meeting with the executive, and 65 days now, no meeting.
Here's Urban X.
Well, it seems like that is the case right there, guys. What are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on what he had to say right there? I personally think it's not that great of a deal, so to speak, but I just think there should be more of a guidance right there. And I think the individual in charge who is providing certain things to them boys, I think he is not doing a great job in guiding them properly. Like I said before, because I'm looking at it from both sides. I'm looking at it from a young boy's perspective, especially I remember me as a young boy. Nobody could stop me from doing nothing. Nobody could stop me from doing nothing at all. They can tell parents, they can tell whatnot. Okay, oh, cool. I just remember myself as a little boy. So I think as a little boy, and maybe finding an adult that I can actually trust and talk about different things, it's always good to have that camaraderie. But you as an adult now, regardless of just this young fire in fellas and this kind of things, they probably trying to impress girls and all kind of thing there. You know, they too are impressionable as well. So you have to also help the young men to become, you know, much better in the mind. And it's not just going out there because you're raging hormones and want to do things and whatnot. You also have to be there in your mind as well. So I'm guessing from the understanding of trusting that adult, the adult themselves need to also be better at guiding these young fellas. You cannot stop them. You provide them with certain things to alleviate getting somebody pregnant or in trouble, but at the same time you need to guide them and say, hey guys, it's not just about this, it's not just about that. It's important that you also know yourself as a man responsible in that regard. So I think from my point of view, looking at adult, I remember I used to talk to different adults and whatnot. Even some of my people I know, they would talk about certain things that I would not dare talk to my parents about. They used to talk about what is it? They used to say this, have these conversations with their parents. So and I would not dare to do such a thing right there. So even sometimes we used to talk and have discussions and get a clear understanding of different things. You know, as a young person growing up, you're impressionable. You want to do certain things. Your raging hormones going crazy. You know, and so it's important to have that kind of figure at the same time. He's saying that the young ones also look to him as well. Maybe they look to you in a different way, whereas they look to the other person in a different way. They'll most likely come and talk to him. I cannot understand that sentiment right there. But I think that the individual need to do a better job in properly guiding these individuals, not just providing things for them and say, I want this and that, can you get this for me? And no, I don't think so at all. I think you need to properly guide these folks into not just understanding about their physical, but also the mental. Mental is important, and understand that men have a responsibility to society. If you don't teach men the responsibility at a young age, utter chaos will ensue. Utter chaos will ensue. But guys, that's just my thoughts on this. I think the individual that they're talking about need to do a better job. But what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on this? Let me know your thoughts in this regard. I saw somebody say about allegations. He's talking about facts, but it's all allegations right there. You're presenting facts and claiming allegations, so I don't get it. What are your thoughts, guys? Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on that post notifications so you can get all the videos as I tend to go through, guys. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Boom bang.